As a follow-up to the lecture on web standards, I want to do a little demonstration of validating XHTML code and HTML5 code, since standards are what makes your web code validate. And also you are required to make sure that your hand-coded personal website validates. And I'm going to start off, I'm going to use the library school's website as my first guinea pig. It's written in XHTML. So I'm going to go up to the top of the screen and just copy the URL. And I'm going to go over here to the W3C's validation service. And I think I'll see if I can scrunch up the browser window so it fits into the recorded area a little better. And so this is the W3C markup validation service. It'll do HTML, it'll do XHTML, it'll also do CSS, which you will do when you get to the CSS part of your personal website. And you can validate by putting in a URL or a URI, and you can also validate by file upload. So since I just copied the SLIS website's URL, I'm just going to paste that in here, and I'll tell it to check. And it's, oh my gosh, 17 errors and 11 warnings, and you can start scrolling through them. And this is where it gets a little difficult because you don't really know what it means. You know, it's telling you line 26, column 27, character ampersand is the first character of a delimiter but occurred as data. It's kind of confusing, but it tells you what line number. So we can go back to the SLIS website and look at the code, and this is also a little demo of how to look at other people's code. What has happened is if you use Firefox, you have to get Firebug, which is a plugin, and Firebug will show you the code. And we can look at that at another time. It's easier if you use Chrome, if you use Google Chrome and look, you can't see the menus. Let's see if I can get the, nope, I can't. If you use Chrome, I'm not showing the menus, but one of the top bar menus in Google Chrome is View. If you click on View, you get this drop down. And one of the things in the drop down is Developer, and you can say View Source, and you can get a very nice display of the underlying code of any web page with line numbers. So over here, if we go back to the validator where it's telling me that there's some problems on line 26, on line 27, if we go back and look at the code, wait a minute. Line 26, line 27, that's not HTML code, that's JavaScript. So that's why that isn't validating. So that solves a little bit of that mystery. I'm sorry. If we go back and go all the way to the bottom, I wanted to show you another error, and this one's a little easier to understand. If we look at line 261, it says there's an end tag for an ordered list which is not finished, and if we go back to the code and scroll all the way down to line 261, for some reason there is an empty ordered list right here. The content management system has generated this empty list. This is in the footers of the web page, and potentially maybe events were going to go in there, some kind of ordered list, but there's nothing there. So the validator caught that as an error. The other example that I'd like to show you is if we go back to the validator, this is how to validate by file upload. And this time we're going to do an HTML5 file, which is our readings list for this course. And if we get the readings list for the course and open it up and tell it to check, this one has 16 warnings, and it's because the name attribute, which is what makes in-page links in HTML and XHTML is not valid. It's what's called deprecated in HTML5. For this, though, this is super easy to fix. Watch this. If I go to BBEdit and I open up the readings list, here's the readings list, and I open it up, and I just go up to the top, and I say find, and I take all the name equals from all those, name equal week 2, which is what makes my in-page link to bounce you down from the top of the page to week 2 when you want to get there quickly, and I change those into ID equals, and I do replace all, which takes actually 5 seconds, not even 5 seconds, and I say okay, and I save it, and I go back to the validator, and I validate by file upload, and I browse to my fixed version and check that. All those warnings about the name went away, and there are a couple other, I didn't point this out when we were on the other one, but here in 1 week I nested an unordered list inside another unordered list to make an indent. Where are they saying it is? I can turn line numbering on in BBEdit. Text, let's see. And I can take a look at line 156, where they're telling me there's a nested UL, and I'm sure I did that because I was trying to do an indented, and I nested a UL inside of a UL, and you're not allowed to do that. But so you can see it can be a little confusing to try to figure out what this output from the validator means, but it can be pretty easy to fix. And when we get to that part of the hand coding project, we'll be sure and have a coding tutorial, to a coding workshop for all of you to who might need help getting your documents to validate.